invocation from Councilman Nichols, followed by the pledge. If you'll please stand.
Pray with me. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day, this beautiful day you've brought us and the wonderful weather we have. We're just so thankful for the city and those that are being sworn in today to serve again. Lord, we're thankful for their willingness to serve. We're thankful for the spirit of the city that's just demonstrated with this group of people here today to support this. Lord, you just feel the support from the city itself. Thank you for all our employees, first responders, everyone that serves us on a daily basis, and may we keep them in mind every day. Thank you again for everything. In Jesus' name I pray.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Councilman Wynn, Nichols, and myself, we're going to come down to be sworn in.
Curtis.
Nichols. Sorry, Nichols.
You can still.
Yes, sir.
What is that annual?
That's why you didn't wear jeans.
Last time? You sure? Okay.
Short sentences.
Please state your name.
Don Warren.
Do solemnly swear or affirm.
Do I say that?
Yes. Repeat after me.
Do I?
Yes.
Do I solemnly swear and affirm
That you will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Mayor of the City of Tyler,
of the Mayor of the City of Tyler,
the State of
the
Texas,
State of Texas,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and the laws of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, sir. Thank you. Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor. You got to sign
I
it.
think I know the drill.
Thank you, sir. There we are. Mr. Wynn. Raise your right hand, sir. Place your hand on the Bible. I, James Wynn,
I, James Wynn,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully
the
execute
duties of the office
the duties of the office
of City of Tyler Councilman for District 4
of City of Tyler Councilman, District 4,
of the State of Texas,
State of Texas,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Very good. Congratulations, sir. Mr. Curtis, place your hand on the Bible. Raise your right hand, sir. I, Brad Curtis,
I, Brad Curtis,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of
of the office of
City of Tyler Council Member for District 6.
City Councilman for District of
6.
District 6
Of the State of Texas.
of the State of Texas,
And will, to the best of my ability,
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, sir. Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, the next next item on the agenda is E2, where we elect the mayor pro tem. And usually this position goes to the person with the most tenure on the council and who has not served before. And I believe that person would be Councilman Haney, who would be my recommendation to be the next mayor pro tem.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we make Councilman Haney the next mayor pro tem.
Second.
Got a motion by Curtis, second by Nichols. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we're gonna move around to make it all work. Stewart, you're here.
They don't want to take trains next week.
Councilwoman King, you're over there where Lloyd is.
I object. You should have moved a long time ago.
Councilman Nichols, you're over here. Next to Deborah. Yeah, you're good.
I stay?
You're stay.
Okay. Brad, you stay.
Shirley, you're next to me.
You coming over here with the cool kids?
Exactly.
Get rid of the roof. Does Deborah know she's got to punch Lloyd?
She'll find out soon. You get to see the stare. But it's, you know it's for him, it's not for you.
Oh, okay.
Deborah, you know you got to do that.
No, but you know that.
Okay, we all good?
We're good.
All right, now we're gonna go to,
Oh, it won't.
we ready? P1, Luke?
You have to do the minutes.
Minutes.
Approve the minutes.
Oh, the minutes. We have the minutes from April 24th, 2024.
Move to approve.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. My name is Luke Alfaro. I'm the arborist and city forester for the City of Tyler. I come to you this morning to present the 2023 Tree City USA and Growth Award from the Arbor Day Foundation. I put together a brief presentation that's very similar to last year, just going over the Tree City USA designation, what it means, and how we earned it. So this year, Tyler has once again been recognized with the Tree City USA designation by the Arbor Day Foundation. This marks a significant milestone for our city, as it is our 15th consecutive years of doing so. The Tree City USA program is a national recognition that celebrates the commitment of communities across the United States to furthering and bettering their tree care within their communities. To qualify for this designation, a city must meet 4 core standards. The first one is maintaining a tree board or department, and in our case, that would be the Tyler Trees Committee. Having a community tree ordinance, spending at least $2 per capita on urban forestry, and celebrating an Arbor Day with a formal proclamation. In addition to the Tree City USA designation, Tyler has been awarded the 2023 Growth Award for the 8th consecutive year. This award is a testament to our city's dedication to going above and beyond the basic requirements for tree care and community involvement. The Growth Award is given to communities that demonstrate higher levels of tree care and community engagement, and only a select few tree cities in Texas were recognized with this award. I don't have the current statistics, I haven't sent it to me, but as of last year, we were 12 out of 94 current tree cities to receive the Growth Award, so that puts us in the top 15% in the state. Our achievements last year are a result of several key initiatives and events that engaged our community. We hosted our annual Arbor Day celebration where 120 trees were planted at Fun Forest Park. We had around 250 volunteers, received over $7,000 in donations, and were able just to give back to the community in the form of knowledge and t-shirts, stickers, bags, and a lot of other things. Our annual seedling giveaway was a success in which we distributed approximately 2,000 tree seedlings to residents to help replace trees lost to past severe weather events. And furthermore, our proactive approach to tree care, including strategic tree pruning and removal of hazardous trees in our parks, streets, and medians, has ensured the safety and beauty of our public spaces. Educational outreach through forestry workshops and classes has empowered our citizens with the knowledge to care for our urban forests, And we also hosted a tree safety class for our Parks and Recreation staff to help them safely remove trees when necessary and make sure that we can keep our parks clean and safe. A large-scale mulching project was completed on the Rose-Rudman Trail system to clean storm debris, increase sight distances, and make the trail safer and more enjoyable for everyone to use. And lastly, we received a couple points towards the Growth Award due to our local electric utility, which is Encore, being a Tree Line USA, and they're actually the longest active utility in Texas at 23 years. So I'd like to thank everyone for their help and support in earning these awards. It is recommended that the City Council accept the 2023 Tree City USA designation as well as the 2023 Growth Award from the Arbor Day Foundation.
Thank you, Lee. This is just a presentation, right?
There is, do y'all have a kind of
You
a
have a flag?
certificate or such that?
We have a flag that we can take a picture with you.
Hey, let's go down there and do a picture.
How come there's not a photograph of Councilman Curtis breaking the sprinkler head?
That's next year.
I wanted to see Ed try to get out.
Before y'all go, it's always a pleasure, with being a Tree City and going out to these Arbor Day events. And it's always fun to have the council there. And this past time at Pollard Park, Councilman Curtis busted into a water line his very first shovel dig. So I'm not sure how much help we are. I think we did more damage than good. But seriously, thank y'all for what you do, and we appreciate it. And thanks for making Tyler pretty. Thank y'all. All right. Now we have several employees that represent 55 years of service with the City of Tyler. First, we have Jennifer Palmer, Animal Shelter Adoption Counselor, 25 years of service. Thank you. It's not a check. All right, and now I don't. There's Kevin Mobley, Police Sergeant, 30 years of service.
I'll get another one. Yeah, you gonna stop? Well, come on. It's okay. Everybody's doing here.
Better check your wallet after going.
There's numbers in there. I want to get a number? You get it. What'd you want? Old neighbor here. All right, there's somebody real quick.
You got it. There you go. These guys have been around a long time, and I'm both so fond of the animal shelter. And I've got a new cat that came from there named Gentry. It was found at the zoo. And I got it from the animal shelter.
I'm wondering where this is going.
It's one of the best animals we've ever had. And then you got Kevin here, who's just all over town. And at every event, whether it's church community or wherever we go, Kevin's there. And he's there to unite the community and to answer questions and to connect with the citizens of the city. So I can't thank you enough for what you do and how you do connect. And you're a true friend, and I hope you stick around a lot longer. Okay?
Okay, I will. Appreciate it.
All right, Z1, Kyle.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. This first item is a zone change request for approximately 340 acres of land. This is on the southeast side of the city. This is around Biloxi, Cumberland Road, Jeff Davis, this large area here. The applicant's requesting to rezone this area that's currently zoned for agricultural use, which was the original designation when it was annexed into the city, for a variety of uses on the property, ranging from single-family, low density to some multifamily to commercial as well. As you see here on the map, there is a red line, dashed line that cuts through the property. That is a future extension of New Copeland Road, which is shown on our 2021 Master Street Plan. There are also other future collector streets shown within this area. McClenny Drive, which will extend from Cambridge Road east to Biloxi at a future time, and then also the extension of Cambridge Bend into this area. And so with that, the applicant's requesting to develop this area for a variety of uses. It is a large piece of land, and it does have those major streets that are planned for that area. This is the future land use guide, which largely shows the area as single-family, medium, low density. There is a small pocket in there of multifamily being shown, and then I believe as you get down to the southeast area, it is shown for commercial, which is near the intersection of Cumberland Road and Biloxi. This is kind of a layout of the proposed zoning districts. Generally, the applicants wanted to match any of the current type of development where there is development. So west of here, with Cambridge Bend, that's a lower density single family detached. They are extending that into their development, a lower density development. And then on the north side, the same way, near Jeff Davis, and then some areas that are currently zoned for maybe some townhome or duplex development, they are continuing that into this area. But largely along the new extension of New Copeland, they do show higher intensity or higher density development, really taking into account the type of infrastructure that will be at a future date put in through that area and how that would interact with any development through here. As you get south of the creek, they do show or are proposing more of a mixed use area with commercial as you get to a future, which would be a major intersection with Biloxi and New Copeland. Biloxi is being planned for extension or upgrade through TxDOT. They are expanding that highway, and that will affect this property as well. So what I did here was overlay essentially how that will look in the end if these zonings were approved, and you can essentially see how they kind of match what you see around it, and then the more intense development, the newer areas will be effectively within areas that are not currently developed, and so that kind of limits the impact to any existing homes or areas by what they're doing here. Just kind of go through each of those areas really quick, but these are the planned mixed use areas. Again, south of the creek, closer to Biloxi and New Copeland, where these are going to be limited to, at the most, C1 uses, which are retail, light retail, no outdoor display. And so just a mixed use area. As you get north of the creek, these are along Biloxi or along New Copeland Road. That extension, they are going to be planned for planned multifamily, which could be a variety of, single-family homes on one lot, or townhomes, or potentially apartment complexes. But again, these are limited to that frontage along the New Copeland. These other PMF areas here, these are similar. They will also be allowed for those mixed density or mixed density or medium density, and as well as townhomes and things like that. But the density is limited to 9 units per acre instead of the 24, which is 9 units per acre is more of a medium type of density there. So it's a transition. And then as you get into some of these other areas, planned unit residential, which are just single-family homes, and then commercial along Biloxi, and things like that. And so I think the applicant is here. If there are any questions about exactly what they plan and what they want to do, they can answer those. This is the property as it currently is, undeveloped, with a large floodplain or creek that bisects the tract. And in reviewing the proposal, one of the conditions that has been agreed on or is part of the approval is that the applicant will be required to prepare a traffic impact analysis for the entire acreage, about 340 acres, before any development occurs, with the preliminary plat. And that allows them to plan for and staff to review for the development as a whole and not piecemeal. And so that gets the best review for the traffic impact, and that if it's going to be phased over time, which I believe is a long-term project, that all those phases they all have the adequate infrastructure planned and prepared prior to that development, and so that there's not an impact, or it doesn't overwhelm the system through that area. The notices that we sent out, we received, I believe, 7 in opposition from the neighbors you see in red, along Jeff Davis, and then Cambridge Bend, and then some along Cumberland Road. Total protest was just over 4%, and some of those concerns are largely out of concern for, maybe the disruption or disturbance of the current land, and concerns about how that affects drainage and maybe loss of vegetation and things like that. With any development, as those phases come in, that they will have to be, drainage will have to be designed for, so there's no adverse impact on any adjacent properties. And so a lot of those concerns I'm hoping would be alleviated through the normal development process. The planning commission, by a 5-0-1 vote, recommended approval.
Any questions for Kyle? Mark, are you here on behalf of the applicant? Trey's back there. Trey, can you come on up? You're way back there.
Yes, sir.
Name and address for the record, please.
1350 Dominion Plaza, Trey Brewer.
Can you just explain kind of how long a project this is? What would be the first phase, second phase? And it looks like the extension of Copeland Road is a pretty important part of your project. Who pays for that?
Yeah, good questions. We think this is a 15 to 20 year project for us. It represents our commitment to helping Tyler grow. Tyler is growing, and this is a part that we think that we can help with that. We started the planning and the zoning process back in 2023, and our team did a fantastic job. Natalie Drew and Jared Weaver went door to door to nearly every neighbor that touches this property back in maybe October, so over 6 months ago. And we're just now being able to come present it to you guys today. Our goal is to take our time and do it right. We had several neighborhood meetings, and really long project, but our goal is to, like Kyle said, is to kind of match the existing zonings to the west and just carry that forward to the east a little bit. New Copeland Road, I believe we'll be doing a traffic study before we get a preliminary plat approved, and that'll show if the correct sizing of it and what the uses require. And I think I've been told there's an opportunity to share in some costs with the city if the city wants it oversized. And so I don't know exactly how that will work yet, but we'll get that nailed down before first preliminary plat, I believe.
Okay. Well, I will say, I don't have any cards here from anybody opposed to it, which is pretty amazing for a project this size. Because we had that one several years ago. We had an 8-hour meeting, and this place was packed with opposition. So
yes, sir.
Y'all done a good job of reaching out to the neighbors, and I appreciate that.
That's definitely on our team. Natalie Drew and Jared Weaver did a phenomenal job for several months, fielding calls and working with neighbors.
Trey, I got one quick question. It doesn't show, and so I think I already know the answer, but you're not going to try to tie into Wilder Way?
We don't own that currently, but we do have it under contract.
And you said that.
Oh, Wilder Way, no, we won't be able to tie into Wilder Way.
Okay.
I was confused, I apologize.
Okay.
You said that the city is going to share in the cost of that. I was trying to get the complete answer to the mayor's question.
Yes, ma'am. I've heard that the city shares in costs on road projects that where the city thinks the future use may be greater, and maybe it's a 4-lane road, but maybe the traffic study only shows that it needs 2. And so we don't have that nailed down yet. It'd be a conversation with the city.
Yeah. And that will be during the development process. Trey, as Trey described it, is accurate. They'll do their traffic impact analysis. In fact, you've got an item later on where kind of the very same thing of where a bridge was oversized, and we're paying for the oversizing of the bridge to then handle the traffic that is not directly created by the development. And so that will be a conversation during the development process itself.
Thank you.
Okay.
I just want to underscore what the mayor said about that there not big people here to protest. That I do think Jenna Cove, all your team did a good job. We had 3 meetings.
Yes, sir.
With the neighbors out there. I think we got to realize this property is going to be developed. I mean, it's going to be developed. I think we're much better served by having hometown Jenna Cove do this project as opposed to somebody from Dallas and Houston coming here they don't live here. So I think you've done a good job, and it's going to be, while it's going on, it's going to be a little disruptive. It's a big project, but I think when it's done, it's going to be something we're very proud of.
Thank you for your help too, and showing up in the meetings and helping.
You bet.
I'd like to just point out the watershed and how the removal of so much impervious ground and then putting it into Shackleford Creek and the watershed going downstream. I think we need to pay special attention during the development process and work with city engineering to make sure there's no negative impacts downstream to the folks that live down there.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, it's going to be a good project.
Any other comments, questions?
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve Z1.
Second.
Got a motion by Curtis, second by McKellar. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Good luck with the project. K2.
All right. This is a plan for, or a request for a site plan amendment for a planned multifamily district. This is just off of East Front Street. This property is currently zoned PMF. It was zoned that way, or this way, a couple of years ago for a similar multifamily project. And the surrounding properties are generally commercial, or, the M1 to the east is for large equipment sales. There is some single-family homes, or homes to the west, and undeveloped to the north. As you can see, you can see that here. It's rather undeveloped through that area, and so the applicant plans to develop an apartment complex there. This is the site plan that was approved, again, a couple of years ago, for 172 apartment units in those 3 buildings there. They did have a street proposed to cut through to Jones Street, which is on the north side. That street's currently, it stops east of this property. And this is the new site plan that they're proposing. Again, 3 buildings, a little bit more units. It's 192 units. And I didn't mention earlier, this property is within our north end planning area. And so the addition of 192 rooftops is consistent with the comprehensive plan. This layout is a little bit different. It does not have that street connecting Front Street to Jones. However, they do have Jones Street shown there with extending that to this area. So because that's required due to fire protection, and just the development of the property requires that. And so there will be these residents will have multiple ways in and out through this area, and it will also help open up those other tracks within here to potential development. This is how it currently looks, and when we sent out notices to the neighbors, we did receive 3 in opposition. 2 of them are from the same property owner, but they own multiple entities. And then to the east is the business there that had some concerns about maybe how their business would impact residents, living close by. Also, some concerns about drainage and how their drainage would be carried through this property as it currently is. I have conveyed those concerns to the applicant's engineer to just make them aware of what those are, so they can maybe review those and plan for those. The other opposition is similar to what was submitted last time this went through, was approved by City Council. The concern is just additional residents in this area where there currently isn't. And so, like I said, it was approved by the City Council last time. This site plan is just an adjustment of the layout, but plus the addition of more units, which is, again, consistent with our plan. And the Planning Commission recommended approval.
Any questions for Kyle? I've got 3 cards here for people that are for it, pretty much available if we have questions. Because there's a lot of red on there, I would like to ask, is there anybody here that wishes to speak that opposed this project? Okay. Just want to make that aware. Any other questions for Kyle?
Mr. Mayor, move to approve Z2.
Second.
Got a motion by Wins, second by Broderick. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Good luck with your project. All right, Z3.
This is a request for a PCD, Planned Commercial District site plan. This is at the Village at Cumberland Park. This is one of the out parcels along Broadway. The applicant is trying to get a site plan approved to develop a Whataburger on the property, a restaurant on the property. As you know, this is a commercial area. I don't know if I said that right. It's consistent with everything that's been approved for that area. It's just, again, the restaurant there, fast food restaurant to serve this area. And so the Planning Commission recommended approval.
Any questions for Kyle?
Move to approve Z3.
Got a motion by Curtis, second by Nichols. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Z4.
This is a request for a zone change from PXR, Planned Mixed Residential, to Planned Multifamily, PMF. This is along Centennial Parkway. As you see the property here, it is it butts up to Toll 49 on the south side, and Centennial on the north side. The properties across Centennial are developed with single-family homes. The other ones are currently undeveloped, and then you have the tollway on the south side. This area was annexed back in 2017, this property and the property west of it, after it had already started development. At that time, it was being developed outside the city, and they got further along and needed utilities, and so they annexed those properties. Some of the conditions there, or the zoning that was put in place, was really intended to match what they were developing. So multifamily to the west, because those were like quadplexes. These are intended to be more like townhomes, but each unit's going to be on its own lot. So they will resemble duplexes, but they will be the opportunity to be owner occupied. And as you see, the layout for these, as you see right here, the street was started, Freedom Trail. It was started as a public street, but when it was put in, it was not built to city standard, which has caused an issue with, finishing out this development or finishing it, and some costs that would be associated with that. You do see 4 units that are currently constructed off of that street. That street was dedicated to the public and was intended to be a public street. It is a rather long dead-end street that goes nowhere and only really serves this development. The requested zoning, the PMF zoning, would allow for these lots to have primary access to a private way, which is not a public street. It would be privately maintained by an HOA, and that would allow this development to continue. As you see here, this is the site plan. They do have quite a few large open space areas that are amenities for this the planned development. As you can see, the layouts of the buildings there, they do resemble duplexes, but they are on individual lots. The number of units actually increases by 2 additional units from the original site plan that was approved. Of the notices that were sent out, we received 3 in opposition. Those were largely concerned about not knowing the finer details on what was actually going to be developed. And I think the concern was that they would be apartment complexes or similar to what is west of there. But the use doesn't change from what was originally approved. And there is a 6.15% opposition there. And with that review, the Planning Commission recommended approval of this this zone change.
Any questions for Kyle?
Move to approve Z4.
Second.
Got a motion by Curtis, second by McKellar. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Z5.
This is a request for a thoroughfare closure of Mercedes Drive and Bendale Drive. This is off of Crow Road. These streets were platted as public streets, and they have been constructed as well. The applicant and developer is requesting to procedurally close these streets to the public so that they can be converted to private streets. They don't plan to abandon the streets completely, but they would like to have the ability to gate the streets. Some of that is in part due to the property to the north being zone C2, and there's no other access to that right now. There is a planned extension of Rice Road through that area, but if it were to develop now, you might see, traffic through this the only traffic to that more intense commercial area through a residential area. So for right now, they like the ability to gate the development and still maintain the second way out or second access point for future for residents if that area opens up with Rice Road and there's other connections there. That's really, as you can see, the property there that's gated. The development to the east of that, which is also the same developer, they do have, I believe they do have that gated as well. And those are private ways there for that development too. The Planning Commission recommended approval of this request.
Any questions for Kyle?
Move to approve Z5.
Second.
Got a motion by McGee, second by Wynn. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Z6.
This is another thoroughfare closure. It's for an unimproved alley just across the tracks here. The applicant's requesting the ability to incorporate this into their development or their planned development there. And that's the next item, but they have to go through this request. And so it's an unimproved alley, as you see there, not going to be used. It did extend across the tracks just west of here, but that's all developed now. So the Planning Commission recommended approval of this alley closure, subject to it being replatted within 6 months.
Any questions for Kyle?
Move to approve Z6.
Second.
Motion by McGee, second by Wynn. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Z7.
This is the property just next to it. They are requesting to rezone this from industrial to single family. And all the surrounding properties are generally single family homes. And then the railroad tracks to the south. The Planning Commission recommended approval of this request.
Any questions for Kyle?
Move to approve Z7.
Second.
Motion by McGee, second by Wynn. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Judge Franklin, did you see how smooth this runs up here?
Wait till I get up there and speak.
All right. Z7.
This is also an alleyway closure. This is off of East Vance Street. Similar case, the alley has never been developed. The adjacent properties would like to incorporate that to give them more space on their property to have for their use, and the Planning Commission recommended approval.
Any questions for Kyle?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by McKellar, second by Curtis. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Z9.
One last closure here. This is a request to close Spring Avenue on the square, as well as some alley rights of way that are within the blocks you see there. These are being done in conjunction with the downtown plan and the county's courthouse plans for that location. And so they do plan to abandon these alleys to fit with those plans. As you see, the alleys there, that some are currently developed, some are now being, have the court or the parking garage over it. And then Spring Street, as you see there, or Spring Avenue, as you see, that is being requested to be abandoned. With that, there is a plan to keep the west side of that area for public use, for future public use, as part of the overall downtown plan. And so, as you see here, this is what they would be proposing. This is what staff would be proposing to be approved, is the abandonment of the 50-foot wide Spring Street right-of-way, which has been formally dedicated to the public and being closed there, but also contingent on the west side being an alley or a right-of-way for the purposes of pedestrian utility, emergency access, vehicle access, and kind of keep that open. But the main thing is that the plan for the courthouse needs this area of Spring Avenue for, to fit the new courthouse on that site. Of the notices that were sent out, we did receive one in opposition, but it's really just a concern about the plan and how, the square would interact with this closure. I think that's all been addressed between the applicant and that individual. Really concern or a question about how, if those streets will become two-way and when that will happen, but I don't believe that's an issue anymore. And with that, the Planning Commission recommended approval of these closures, and I do have kind of the actual language for that. I'm going to read that. So this would be the closure of a 50-foot wide portion of the east side of Spring Avenue, located between East Ferguson Street and East Irwin Street. Also, the closure of alley rights-of-way located in New City Blocks 4 and 5. This is to be contingent upon the applicant replatting the rights-of-way within 6 months and dedicating a 47-foot wide right-of-way west of the closed Spring Avenue to be maintained by Smith County for pedestrian, utility, and emergency access.
Any questions from Kyle before we call up Mr. Patterson? Russell, you wish to speak? Come on up. Name and address for the record, please.
Russell Patterson, 100 East Ferguson, Suite 102, Tyler, Texas. Good morning, Council. Good morning, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. I am Vice President of RHP Real Estate, owner of First Place, more commonly known as the Regions Bank Building downtown on the square. I am 100% in favor of the closure of Spring Street. Just want to make that clear. I didn't have a maybe as a choice. The concern that I had was that is our direct access to our elevated parking deck. Spring Street, people have to circle around the courthouse to get to our elevated parking deck. That's a source of income for our building. That's also that's parking for many of our tenants and many of our tenants' customers and clients. My recommendation or my request for the council was to approve this with the caveat that it would be closed simultaneous to Ferguson becoming a two-way street. That way people will continue to have access to our parking deck. There won't be any issues getting access to our parking deck. I did watch the P&Z meeting. I apologize for not being here, but I don't think that was addressed in full. And I just wanted some reassurance that our clients, our customers, our tenants will still have access to that parking deck in some capacity.
Any questions for Mr. Patterson? Thanks. I'm going to get Brandy to come up and address that. Brandy, can you come up? Name and address for the record.
Brandy Ziegler, my home address?
Now your office.
100 North College Avenue. I'm glad to answer any questions we may have.
Can you explain what Russell, his concern? Because there's so much going on down there.
Absolutely,
and
and valid concern, and Russell probably represents everyone on the square, which is exactly who we want to make sure we address and keep in business and keep their income coming in. During construction, just because we have so many phases along this timeline, during construction, just to give us a better idea, and I don't know, Kyle, if we could go back to the slide that shows, yes, that 50 feet of blue swath there would be part of the west side of that would be the construction fence going into Spring Street, if that makes sense. Spring Street, that green portion, and we can even go back to the previous slide, that green street would remain open during construction. So you will be able to circulate around the entire courthouse for the next 2 years. Traffic would flow the exact same way as it does currently during construction on Ferguson and Irwin Street, so that all of the patrons, and including the parking deck, for First Place would still be accessed exactly the same way, and you would still be able to, just as we all do. I park there all the time, and you just, come around the courthouse and go straight into that arm. To address Russell's concerns, once we finish the courthouse, and now we swap and we're starting to work on the west part of the project where we do the site improvements that then become the front lawn of the courthouse. That's when Russell's suggesting that we go ahead and make Ferguson and most likely Irwin two-way as we progress on the downtown plan. I think that's been discussed, and I think that's not a problem at all, because at that point, Spring Street would have to be closed. All of the construction traffic will remain just as we've done from the parking structure from the west, from Beckham, and we'll keep construction traffic basically fanning over to the east where Beckham is, and that's where trucks will be coming in, so that we don't then get on the square proper with construction traffic. Even during the site improvements of that third year when we're on the Park Plaza. So I think, basically the next 2 years we'll keep everything open as it is. Spring Street will still be open, a portion of it to circulate around. Ferguson, Irwin will still be able to use those and get into the parking deck the same way as we do now. Once we then, in that third year, go into that final stage of the project, and Spring Street does close for that construction project, I would suggest that we consider opening Ferguson up to two-way at that time.
Mr. Mayor, just for the record, I want to make mention that, Mr. Russell, I did get 2 clients from your tenants that was concerned about and was complaining about this particular area, in particular the parking, but other areas that they were complaining about as well. But parking was one of the big things that they reported to me. So I just wanted to make that part of the record.
Absolutely.
Brandy, would it just be one lane of travel then on Spring Avenue?
Correct.
The parking and then the first lane would be closed and it'd just be one lane of travel?
That's correct. The lane closest to the existing courthouse would remain open.
And one thing that they're working on that hadn't really come out yet is the Create Tyler website, which is something that Fitzpatrick's working with 1440 in the city, so that this website's going to show what's going on downtown when there's construction is going on, and what roads are going to be closed, how do people get to their businesses, what's going to be in the way. So I think that's going to help this whole deal. But can we kind of, Russell, have we much of it? Do you feel better?
I feel better having access.
Come back up.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I feel better knowing that we're going to have access for 2 years. The one-lane street, it's going to be a mess, but I think if you're signed on in downtown, then you sort of come to expect that. I would love to see, even after the fact, knowing that once Spring Street is closed down, that it's going to be closed down, when it's closed down permanently, that Ferguson will become a 2-lane road. That's going to be, I'm still want to make sure that 2 years down the line, it's not a maybe, it's a definite.
Well, and I hear you, but they're doing the construction, they're involved in the construction.
Right.
We as a council, I don't.
Yeah, and they're helping us greatly on
Yeah, I don't think
on
we
our
as a
project.
council
So
can guarantee
yeah.
anything since we're not involved in the construction, but correct me if I'm wrong.
No, sir. I appreciate the fact, you guarantee nothing.
He won't be here in 2 years.
But there's also another component of it, and I don't know how much, just some of our engineering staff kind of antsy about the bigger aspect of it as well. Because while Ferguson needs to be turned to two-way, so does Spring Street and also, or Spring Avenue, and also Locust, which is on the north side of the elevated parking structure. It's turning all of those downtown streets back into two-way streets, which is kind of the ultimate plan for the incorporation of it. So it's not just Ferguson, it's all of those, and doing that kind of at the same time as you have the construction ongoing. Because it is, especially during the construction, Mr. Patterson's concern is directly correct because of just the limited access. We're going to see the same thing on Irwin for some of the traffic. There's no parking structures or anything that causes an issue like it is directly for him, but that is a piece of where we're trying to figure out internally and working with Fitzpatrick on the conversion of all these streets to two-way in order for that traffic to be able to move around through Tyler and not get jammed up in any one spot.
Got a warm fuzzy?
I'm warmer, sure. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So, Mr. City Manager, this does not have any effect on the southern part of Spring Street?
Correct. We are talking between the northern boundary of Ferguson and the southern boundary of Irwin only for that segment.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Brandy? Judge, you want to come up and talk just so because you're used to it?
I'm better not today. Thank you, Mayor.
All right.
You don't want to run up here really quickly?
No, you're good. All right. Any other questions? If I want to make, actually, the motion is exactly what Kyle read. So if you just want to move to what Kyle said, or I can reread it.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, so you're moving to approve what Kyle read just a minute ago. Okay.
Mayor Pro Tem, second.
Okay, so I've got a motion by McGee, second by Haney. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. I didn't hear you. Motion is approved. Oh, one.
Good morning, Mayor and Council, Mayor Pro Tem. I have a series of ordinance items for you this morning, 01 through 04, and they all are in regards to our TERS. Our TERS 3, our North End TERS, and our TERS 4, our downtown TERS. The first item is to make an amendment to our existing ordinance that makes up the compensation of our Board of Directors and the Tyler Redevelopment Authority for TERS 3. This is our TERS 3 boundary in the north end. This is on North Broadway, and then the northern boundary is Loop 323. And you can see the other areas there. It was created back in 2008. Its original termination date was 2038. It consists of about 491 acres. Back then, the base taxable value was $6 million, and in reevaluating that to the 22 taxable values, $29 million. And as you will recall, in October of last year, the council amended the term to 2060, and then in taking this to the county decided to participate in the agreement. However, they wanted to keep the original termination date, and this was an effort to increase or to maintain the 100% participation from the county. And you'll see here, in part of that participation agreement, the county did want some additional representation on the TERS board. So what I'm showing on the left is our current participation, which was really original to the 2008 creation of this TERS. And you'll see that there are 7 city appointees, which encompasses, at the time, typically we saw all of our council and our mayor. Mayor is the chair of these TERS, and then the representation from our other taxing entities was 1 for each taxing entity. So looking at our proposed, we have an equal representation from the county and the city. And then with Tyler Junior College, they decided in their meeting this year that they would not renew their participation in TERS 3. And so you can see here where their representation per ordinance has been removed from the board makeup. And so with that, we should take these items singularly, one by one. With that, I would make a recommendation that we approve, I'm going the wrong way. That we approve item 01 with the recommended board representation.
Any questions for Heather regarding 01?
Heather, what happens with there being 8 members if it's a 4-4 vote? Is there a tie break mechanism?
That is a good question. I'll say this. We did not anticipate being left with only 8 members.
That is true.
Right.
Yes, but I didn't know if there's anything put in place where there won't be a deadlock if it's a 4-4 vote.
There is not at this time. So the time, then as per Robert's Rules of Order, the motion dies. And so that would be the situation on that. If it begins to become an issue because it is created through a city ordinance, we can always come back and revise it and amend it.
Okay. Thank you.
Is there a reason we should know why Tyler Junior College is no longer?
Mayor, do you want to answer that one or?
No.
Okay. I'm satisfied.
I move to approve.
Do I?
Move to approve.
Second. Okay, you got a vote by Haney, second by Wynn. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, our next item, very similar, 02, this is for the makeup of the TERS 4 board. And this is our TERS boundary, the downtown TERS. I think our council is very familiar with that, but for anyone else, we have our southern border on Front Street, our western on Palace, and our eastern over on Beckham, and then you can see here that it generally is an area of Gentry Parkway. This was created, or actually reestablished. It was reevaluated back in 2016, and at that time, the termination date was 2046. You can see here it's about 574 acres. At that time, the base taxable value was $97 million, and being reevaluated as we were working with our consultants to look at strengthening our participation, it was taxable value has gone up to $224 million. The council amended our term to 2060 last year, and then working with the county to get their participation up to 100%. They did approve the participation agreement. However, they did want more representation. And why I point out the base taxable value is that that value is going to continue to go into the coffers as it was back in 2016, looking at that $97 million. Afterwards, any incremental increase to that taxable value, that's what the TERS will allocate to using within the TERS. And then here you'll see our current makeup of the TERS board includes 4 city appointees, 4 county appointees, and then we have our 2 junior college appointees. With the update, we see that we have, on the current, it was actually 3 county appointees. And with the agreement, they wanted an additional county appointee to reflect a match with the city appointees. And as of this time, working with Tyler Junior College, they have decided to end their participation in 2037. So their representation remains until their representation or their participation with the TERS has ended.
Excuse me, you said May of 2037. Is that not May of 2027?
think it is. I think they're only in for another 3 years.
Oh, okay. Yes, that is correct. Yes, there was, for this TERS, there was an incremental step in the participation. I think the increments went by 5 years, and I inadvertently was looking at the final year. So yes, that is correct. Thank you for that clarification.
So in essence, what Councilman Haney said, in May of 2027, we're going to be back to the same thing where you got 4 and 4.
Right, and it certainly is a time to reevaluate. One can hope that maybe before that time comes up, maybe we can work with our other taxing partner and get them back on board.
In 2027, will we need to come back and officially remove them, or do they automatically fall off with this motion?
They do automatically fall off. Yeah, the ordinance is drafted in a way that if they're not participating, they lose their representation.
I'm going to say one other thing. And my friends at TJC are our friends at TJC. I'm disappointed that they are not longer going to be participating in 2027. But this is a request to the TJC board to reconsider being a partner with the city and the county. And when I say that, is students come to UT Tyler, TJC, for more than just the campus life. They come here for the downtown life. They come here for the Tyler life, the quality of life, and for things that are not just on the campus. And in 2027, we're going to be wrapping up our downtown improvement at the same time that TJC will be dropping off this TERS, which is a time that I really think that there are students who go into the plaza and eat Andy's custard and study and participate in more than just campus life. I hope they'll reconsider their participation in the TERS. More concerned about TERS 4 than TERS 3, but I would request they reconsider this. So that's all I'll say.
Mayor.
Move to approve 02.
Second.
Motion by motion by Curtis, second by Wynn. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 03.
All right, 03 is a request to go ahead and make some appointments or reappointments to our TERS 3 board. As you can see here, again, this is the boundary that we're talking about for the north end. And predominantly what we see in that area is of residential, but also some proposed mixed use coming soon. Here, this is the appointments that have the county just last week made their appointment recommendations to be considered for TERS 3. And we have our recommendations here with staggered year terms that are coinciding with our TERS ordinance, as well as establishing a chair, which has to be done on an annual basis. So with that, the staff is recommending that the council appoint these members to TERS 3.
Any questions for Heather?
Move to approve 03.
Second.
Motion by Wynn, second by McGee. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 04.
04. Similar item. We are asking for appointments to TERS 4, again, the downtown TERS. And what we have here is a reflection of the new makeup of our TERS board, and it includes an additional seat for the county, and it maintains the 2 seats for TJC for now. And right here, we would entertain any recommendations from the mayor for city appointees.
We've got 2 city appointees on here, and a city appointee does not necessarily need to be a city council member. And what I would like to recommend, I've got 2 people's names here, and the reason why I want to recommend these 2 is because they live and breathe downtown. And they put money into downtown. They office downtown. They are downtown. And so I'd like to recommend for the two city appointees would be Andy Bergfeld and Steve Fitzpatrick to fill those two positions, along with the rest of the slate. It would just be my recommendation.
That's so moved.
Got a motion by Haney, second by McGee. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Heather.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Kedrick. This is going to be a good report.
It's always great.
Don't lie to him today.
Okay, Mayor and Council, you have item M1 before you. This is our quarterly report through the end of March. And these are just some of our major funds, and they compare year-to-date actuals for this year compared to year-to-date actuals for the year before. And also, there's projections in there compared to our current fiscal year budget. So I'll just hit some of the highlights. We'll start out with the general fund. We're expecting revenues to be about almost 1.7 million less than budget. As you all know, that's largely due to the decline in sales tax. Also, we're expecting expenditures to be about 2.2 million less than budget. A few months ago, we contacted our departments. We asked them to come in 2.5% below budget. And so each of the forecasts that we've been getting each month, we've been evaluating that to make sure that those departments are maintaining that target. And I'm here to report that they're doing their part in making sure that we're 2.5% below. Also, water utilities. We're looking at revenues to be almost $400,000 less than budget. I'll just put a caveat out there. We haven't hit the summer yet, so that could change. We could actually come in over budget depending on how the summer plays out. Also, we're looking at expenditures being about $4 million less than budget. That's largely due to salary savings. We've got some contingency funds that we're not expecting to use. Also, some savings on chemicals as well. Solid waste, we're expecting revenues to be almost $400,000 less than budget, primarily due to a delay in our 5% CPI increase on some of our commercial and roll-off clients, but we're working diligently on that to get those implemented. Also, on solid waste, we're expecting expenditures to be about $70,000 greater than budget. Airport. We're expecting expenditures or revenues to be about $436,000 less than budget, and revenues to be about $112,000 less than budget. Development services, we're expecting revenues to be about $62,000 greater than budget, and expenditures to be about $107,000 less than budget. Hot fund, we're expecting revenues to be about $427,000 less than budget, and expenditures to be about almost $6,700 less than budget. Our health fund, we're expecting revenues to be about $246,000 greater than budget, and we're also expecting expenditures to be about $934,000 less than budget. Let me knock on wood here.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Let me knock on wood here. This is a good trend to see, so we'll continue to watch that. This concludes my report. I just ask that you take an action to accept the quarter ending March 31st revenue expenditure report. Thank you.
So, Kedrick, when you see these numbers, is this a blip or a trend or?
Oh, on the sales tax, is that, so on the sales tax, what we're seeing is during COVID, as many of you are aware, building products, there was, a supply chain issue with getting building products. And so those prices have begun to come down for lumber and materials. So we benefited from that spike during the pandemic, but so we're seeing that as well. And also retail is down a little bit as well. So hopefully we see a positive trend going into next year, but it's definitely going to make putting next year's budget together a little bit harder challenge. So.
Another aspect of it is the Texas State Comptroller's Office is also, for the first, since COVID began, has come back and started doing more audits. And so what we're typically seeing is that each of the months it's pretty much been flat, maybe about a minus 1%. But then there's kind of the audits and from past years that they've gone back and taken. So you'll see a larger drop in sales tax collection because they're pulling back or collecting for audits from previous fiscal years as well.
Any other questions for Kedrick?
So moved.
Got a motion by McKellar, second by McGee. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Leanne. Yours will be more exciting than that last. Sorry,
It is. Good morning, good mayor and council. On Wednesday, April 17th and April 24th, we opened bids for the W.E. Winters Park renovations. A non-mandatory pre-bid meeting was held on Tuesday, April 23rd at 2 p.m. 4 bidders submitted bids. We had Casey Sloan Construction, Smith Builders and Developers, Crown Civil Construction, and Paragon Construction and Associates. Paragon Construction and Associates was the lowest bidder at $240,846. It is recommended that the City Council consider authorizing the City Manager to award bid number 24-012 for the W.E. Winters Park renovation to Paragon Construction and Associates to furnish all necessary materials, equipment, superintendents, and labor in an amount not to exceed $240,846.
Any questions for Leanne?
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion by McGee, second by McKellar. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Leanne. Darian.
Darren Jennings, City Engineer. I'm here requesting City Council to consider authorizing the City Manager to enter into an agreement for the participation in the extension and oversizing of Marsh Farm Road and the Shackelford Creek Bridge. Right here, you see the location map, Marsh Farm Road or Shackelford Creek Bridge down kind of southeast of Broadway and Toll 49 in the Caddo Woods subdivision. The street and the bridge were oversized from a 27-foot up to a 32-foot to meet our master street plan cross-section requirements, 27-foot being the minimum required to service the subdivision. Next we have, this is the master street plan route showing, and it coincides with the route of this. You can see the participation at 27% is about a little over $1 million out of the $3.7 million total project cost. So what I would like to do is request the City Council to allow the City Manager to enter into an agreement for participation for the $1,011,733.86 for the extension and oversizing of Marsh Farm Road and the Shackelford Creek Bridge.
And this is one that's already occurred. It's already built.
It is already built.
Yeah. Any questions for Darren?
Move to approve M3.
Second.
Got a motion by Curtis, second by Nichols. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. McMillan, thanks for what you're doing in Tyler. We appreciate you. All right, we are down to the consent agenda. Do we want to approve as presented?
Move to approve the consent agenda as written.
Second.
Got a motion by Curtis, second by Haney. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. City Manager's report.
Mayor and council, as y'all were coming in this morning, y'all may have heard some people out there doing PT and hoorah. Our Tyler Basic Police Academy, the third class has started up. We're excited to begin this course. The academy comprises 17 cadets from 6 different agencies, 6 of Tyler Police Department, 5 Longview Police Department, 2 Smith County Sheriff's Office, 2 Palestine Police Department, 1 Athens PD, and 1 of White House PD. And so we're looking forward to seeing their progress and glad to have them up and operating. Also today at noon, regarding police, the 2024 Peace Officers Memorial will be on the square. And so if you have the opportunity and to be part of that, we would be glad to invite you to be out towards that. On Saturday night, the Tyler Fire Department celebrated their firefighters for the past year. Numerous different awards were given for as far as Firefighter of the Year, Legacy or Legend of the Year, and also just other teamwork type of awards presented. So we're very proud of our firefighters for just the work that they do all year and for the recognition we're able to give towards that. Summer is about to start up and Fun Forest Pool is about to be open. It's been painted, filled, and the chemical has been mixed and stabilized. And so it is ready to go for the upcoming pool season, and so we'll be starting up in the next couple of weeks. You may have also seen, and I think Cameron's back there. There he is. I always like to brag on Cameron and his work. You may see Cameron and his staff out there because of our Intelligent Transportation System Master Plan Year 3 projects that were improved with this year's budget, included vehicle detection upgrades. And so you'll see at different places being done last week, our contractors and vendors working with staff to install and program new vehicle detection systems at the intersections on the Loop and Town Park, Loop and 5th Street, Front Street and Broadway Avenue, and Biloxi Drive and Grande Boulevard. And so these systems will replace the older systems that are no longer supported by the manufacturers and also provide staff the capability to remotely view the intersections, allowing the city to be more responsive to citizens. And finally, it is graduation season as well. And I also want to, for one of our employees who's been with us for a long time, recognize her. We want to congratulate Janika Forward. A couple Saturdays ago, she graduated with her Bachelor of Science degree in Human Resources Development from the University of Texas at Tyler. She's quietly been pursuing her undergraduate degree part-time while working full-time for us and being a dedicated mother to her 3-year-old son. Through it all, she continually embraced her call to serve spirit while providing excellent HR guidance to City of Tyler employees and helping them receive or reach positive outcomes whenever possible. Janika has recently been accepted to the Wisconsin School of Business at the University of Wisconsin-Madison with a full academic scholarship. So she'll actually be leaving us to begin pursuing her MBA in the fall. And so she's been a dedicated City of Tyler employee for 10 years, including 1 year as a temp employee, and we couldn't be prouder of her. And so we want to congratulate Janika Forward for her achievement in bettering herself and our organization. And so with that, Mayor, thank you.
Any questions or comments for the city manager before we adjourn?
So moved.
Do we adjourn?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're adjourned.